Well, hello there, Chucklefucks. It's your boy, Dark Raikou here, with, well, part 3 of What If Issei Was a Wendigo. Part 3. So yeah, I already said part 3 like twice. Oh my fucking god. Never mind. Yes, it's part 3. But let me begin, let me say something. Today's test was cancelled. Literally, the teacher dipped on me. Like, I got there and they said, "Oh shit, well, they fucking just dipped on you." They said that they needed to do something, which they could have just called me, told me that I didn't need to come early to school. I didn't need to fucking study. Yeah, I fucking studied the whole day and I just fuck you, fuck the school. Like goddamn, I was all prepared. Not really, but yeah, you get the point, right? So, I'm a man of my word. What's it called? Not a man of my word. I remember saying that I would kind of upload what's it called? What if Issei was a Wendigo? Part 3 for what's it called? After Thursday, if I pass the test, which I didn't because they canceled it. But not the point. Let me actually begin into this what if, and let me shut the fuck up less, or shut up more. Yeah. Um, yeah. Let me begin. Okay. But we begin into Issei. Issei is right now in his room. Right now, kind of sleeping. This is where, well, someone walked into his room, kind of, well, throwing like a bag of bricks into his head. This is where Issei gets annoyed, gets up, and sees none other than Shiro. This is where Issei says, "What do you want, Shiro?" "Well, I wanted to wake your ass up. You realize it's, I guess, time for you to go to school or something?" Issei says, right. And then I'm gonna have to be bothered by the Grimmery and the devils. Never mind. I'm dropping out. I don't care. This is where, well, Issei goes back to sleep because he doesn't give a shit. This is where, well, Shiro then walks away. And this is where Rainer just confused because when she gets out, she basically hears the whole screaming between Issei and Shiro, and, well, mostly Issei. But yeah. Of course, this is where, well, Issei wakes up after a while. It's now dark. Yes, he just skipped school because he didn't give a shit. And first of all, he really doesn't give a shit that much. This is where, well, Issei feels hungry. Really hungry. And this is where, well, he kind of goes to Rainer's room. Of course, opens it. Sees Rainer is not asleep. Mostly, she is, like, doing something. Mostly, like, playing with the magic of the Phoenix. This is where, well, Issei said, "What are you doing?" This is where, well, she looks up and says, Issei. This is where, well, Issei says, "I'm hungry and I need you to help me." This is where, well, Rainer says, "Please don't eat me." This is where, well, Issei smacked his forehead and says, "Motherfucker, do you forget that you're bait or something?" This is where, well, Rainer kind of realized, oh, right. This is where, well, we go into mostly Issei putting a little like tiny rope around what's it called, mostly string around Rainer, and she just has to go find something, well, mostly interesting for, well, Issei to eat. Shiro's also like right next to Issei. This is where, well, they just wait. This is where, well, humans mostly try to, what's it called, well, get Rainer. This is where, well, mostly a lot of humans, like a ton of like human guys, tries to get into Rainer's pants by literally trying to just be pricks about it. This is where, well, Issei and, well, mostly Issei and Shiro are actually happy that there's actually tons of humans, which there was about like 5 in total. But this is where, well, Issei and Shiro went into town for them, basically just ate them. This is where, well, Issei was now kind of, well, having 3 humans that he just ate, while Shiro was annoyed that he only ate 2. This is where, well, Rainer still is very disgusted at the sight of seeing, well, human flesh just being eaten, thanks to, well, Issei and Shiro being inhuman mostly. This is where, well, Issei says, "You wanna bite, Rainer?" This is where Rainer says, "No, I don't." This is where, well, Issei says, "Whatever, you're lost." This is where, well, Rainer says, "I can't believe I'm basically in this place." This is where, well, we go into Issei, well, mostly the rest of them getting back to the house. This is where Issei then thinks about it. He basically is mostly, he isn't in a group. Yes, he's doesn't really count what's it called Rainer or what's it called Shiro being in a group. But this is where he thinks about it more. What other people or monsters eat humans mostly the whole time? This is where Issei then thinks in his head most of the time, but this is where he decides to grab a book because he did have a book with him that he did took from the library. It's mostly contains of different monsters. Well, monsters humanoid kind of eating what's it called mostly humans. Beasts that basically are the terror of what's it called the night. This is where, well, Issei looks through almost all of them, and pretty much, they're not like devils or what's it called angels or fucking fallen angels. Pretty much, Issei kind of looks through it, and this is where, well, Issei then thinks about it. Vampires, he's reading through the whole vampire thing. What's it called? Werewolves. Basically, vampires drink blood from humans. A werewolf eats humans, mostly just tear them apart and eat them. This is where Issei says, well, wolves can technically be a Wendigo now that he thinks about it. Kinda, but not much. But this is where, well, Issei keeps looking through the book, and this is where he reads upon more different creatures. This is where, well, Issei then thinks about it. Maybe he should be looking into Kuo town to find these creatures. This is where, well, mostly this is where, well, Issei needs to find more of what's it called different creatures because he really thinks that what's it called him kind of being a Wendigo might cause a lot of problems between the three great factions and maybe other factions and whatever bullshit, mostly pantheons or whatever. This is where, well, he thinks that he might need help from different creatures, but yeah. Now, of course, since different creatures aren't really from, well, the three great factions or any of the other fucking pantheons, it'd be a good idea. This is where, well, Issei gets out of his room. He knows that mostly daylight outside, and he expects no creature to be like outside to death or whatever. So of course he decides to just bring Shiro and what's it called, mostly Rainer towards mostly what's it called a beach area. Just because he wants to check around what's it called near like a beach area. So of course this is where Issei did use a magic circle to kind of get to, well, mostly the beach. So yeah, this is where, well, both Rainer and Shiro are confused. Shiro's already annoyed with the sun and of course has what's it called umbrella around him. Of course just blocking the sun. And of course having lots, and I mean lots of lotion screen, mostly sun lotion screen, just around him because he hates the sun entirely. It's super hot on the beach and he just hates it. He hates Issei for bringing him there. This is where Issei isn't really affected by the sun. Instead, this is where Rainer kind of has a outfit similar towards what's it called, well, when she was a fallen angel. This is where, well, Issei sees this and of course doesn't really care. Now Rainer, she just kind of lays down on the beach, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei is right now looking for something. This is where he realized, yeah, he might need to wait in the dark. Because when he was reading a book, he kind of sees something called a siren. Now, sirens are mistake for what's it called mermaids. But yeah, this is where, well, pretty much a siren is a creature, a sea creature, that's a female. And kind of basically they're outside the sea most of the time. And they mostly are on a rock. And they're mostly usually mistaken for being a mermaid. But of course they sing trying to get male people towards them so they can drown them and I guess kill them at the same time, eat them. This is where, well, Issei kind of read all that, but yeah. This is where Issei does probably need them. He doesn't know if the sirens would affect him because, well, pretty much he's a Wendigo and pretty much the emotions and other things aren't really there that much. Now, of course, where, well, he definitely knows that Shiro probably won't even be affected. He's a half incomplete version of a, what's it called? Well, Wendigo, but yeah. And he doesn't expect Rainer to be affected, but yeah. But this is where, well, we go into Issei kind of waiting until the dark, most in this, to become really like the sun going out and becoming the moon. This is where, well, there's a full moon today, and this is where, well, Issei really thinks, yeah, there should be creatures coming out already. This is where, well, They are all on a boat because Issei decides to kind of be in a boat. This is where, well, he's right now kind of managed to hypnotize what's called a, well, normal human to just take them out towards the sea on a boat. But yeah, this is where, well, the human was right now just sailing around the sea. Of course, thinking that the three people behind him are just normal kids wanting to go outside into the sea. But truly, he can't be really mistaken from the truth. He's not hypnotized. No. He said they didn't really do anything to him. Mostly they just kind of asked him. But yeah. But of course, well, he's driving around the sea until he feels like he's being hypnotized to kind of go to a rock. This is where when the male kind of fisherman or whatever, mostly the sailman, kind of just jump out from the boat and goes to the rock, swimming towards it. This is where Issei and the others are kind of confused, or mostly Issei realizes that it must be a siren. This is where a female appears on the other side of the rock, right now kind of giggling and other things. This is where when the fisherman gets closer, he gets grabbed and then just thrown over, mostly to the side of the other side of the rock, and legit started just drowning to the water. This is where, well, they wait in what is happening, but pretty much what happens next was the head of the fisherman or sailman being mostly on top of the head, kind of just landing because it kind of just flung out from the water and just landed on top of the rock. Of course, he's already dead because he has like blood coming out from his eyes, and of course like blood from his mouth, but he doesn't have a full body intact. But yeah, this is where three females appears on the what's it called rock, kind of giggling and laughing, and of course having sharp, like what's it called, sharp teeth, mostly fangs and other things. Of course, where, well, they have blood on their hands, and of course it's still very wet and other things. This is where Issei says, perfect. This is where, well, Rainer and, well, sure, we're all confused. This is where Issei appears, like going towards mostly the front of the boats. This is where, well, he gets to the ledge and legit just kind of like gets on top of it and then jumps on top towards a rock. This is where he lands in all, like between all three of them, and this is where, well, all of them wind their eyes. This is where Issei said, shut up before all of you die. This is where all of them gets on guard. This is where, well, one of them says, who the hell are you? This is where Issei says, oh, me? I'm someone that just wants to bring you to my organization. Pretty much, I can see that you creatures are similar towards, well, what I am, exactly. And this is where, well, they say, what you are male human. We are nothing like you. Issei grins, so this evilish grin, this sharp evilish grin, and his eyes becomes red. This is where, well, for some reason, they scared the shit out of all of them. This is where, well, Issei says, me? Human. His voice started becoming deeper and darker by the second passing. This is where, well, Shiro says, oh, well, they fucked up. This is where, well, Rainer says, they really fucked up. This is where they're still at the boat. Of course, this is where they're not jumping off the boat because they're not crazy enough. Even though Rainer can literally fly, and Shiro, he just doesn't like the water. He doesn't even know how to swim, okay? Truly, in reality, he doesn't know how to swim. He never learned how to swim, so of course, he's not trying that shit out. This is where Issei is getting bigger. At the same time, bones around his body is cracking. This is where, well, it's scaring the shit of the, well, female sirens. And this is where Issei says, you either join me or you die. This is where horns started spreading from his skull, from his head. Fur around him started becoming darker. A very dark shade of nothing but just pure black. This is where, well, Issei became taller. Mostly the height of the true Wendigo form. Issei then roars right in between all three of them. This is where Issei says, join me now or die. This is where, well, all of them wind their eyes when they realize it's a Wendigo. But this Wendigo is throwing out just erupting this aura of nothing but just the power around him. Something that they are very impressed and they must obey. Because the power erupting from this Wendigo is truly just so much that they literally can't do anything. If they try to swim away, there's a good chance they will literally be grabbed out of the water and killed for their insolence and running away. This is where, well, they did absolutely nothing else but then just bow down and then nodded, saying, "We will follow you." All three of them said at the instant. This is where Issei says, "Good. Well, I also need to get information." This is where Issei transformed back into his normal human, but having no clothes because literally his Wendigo form. He went into his true Wendigo form, meaning that his clothes are gone. This is where Rainer looks away because, again, god damn it, because, well, Issei literally has no clothes. This is where all the sirens looks away also. This is where Issei says, Oh, he really didn't care that much about what they are looking away from him. But this is where Issei says, what I'm here to he kind of goes to the one that actually spoke out. This is where Issei crouches down. This is where Issei says, "Look here, siren. I don't really care what's your name. Says I will figure them out later. But pretty much, I want you to go to Kuo Academy. Or mostly not Kuo Academy, Kuo Town. At that place, I will figure out how you can survive in land or whatever." This is where it will. Mostly the siren says, we can survive on land pretty easily. It's just water's the biggest problem that we need. We have to usually be submerged in it most of the time. But we can be in land for a couple of minutes or hours. Mostly if it's during the daylight, it'd be a couple of minutes. But if it's in the night and it's cold or freezing temperature or it's raining, it'll be more than like hours. Issei says, The artificial magic for rain magic works on you. This is where they say, yes, it does. We will be able to survive much easier if we just walk through it that much. Issei says, good. Well, how can you walk when literally your legs are literally fish? This is where, well, they said, because we can literally transform it into. You're not the only other creature that can literally shapeshift most of the time. This is where they kind of just sigh at him, because clearly this Wendigo doesn't know that much about them at all. This is where, well, Issei says, yeah. But what I'm looking for else is I'm looking for the vampires. Do you know where they will be at? The sirens do nod. This is where one of them does not, saying that they will be in Romania. This is where, well, Issei says, I gotta teleport there. Fine. But are they truly there? Because I don't remember. Is there more of you people? This is where, well, the siren says, yes, there's more of us. Why? Good, because I want to know, is it just a faction or just you randomly turning into it? This is where, well, they said pretty much it's not a faction. It's mostly, if you want to think about it, like a clan, a very small clan of that many sirens. Mostly a lot of people mistake sirens for mermaids and mermaids for sirens. This is where, well, Issei said, I see. So how many in total will be as sirens? About only 30 of us. This is where, well, Issei says, that's smaller than I thought. Seriously? This is where, well, the siren says, yeah, you see here, during the freaking war between the three factions, it actually affected us and actually kind of caused us a war between other creatures of the sea. Mostly sea serpents and other things. This is where, well, Issei sighs and says, God damn it. What was the original count? About 30,000. And you only people have 30? Seriously? Well, during the whole, after the war of the three factions, there was multiple humans hunting us, mistaking us for mermaids, and we mermaids, well, us mostly got mistaken for mermaids, and yet we didn't really attack humans back then that much. We only did it now because they piss us off so much and we're hungry most of the time. Issei says, I see. How's the vampires then? The vampires, well, okay, I feel like you're looking for a bunch of different creatures. Okay, just tell us which type of creatures you're going to be looking for. Issei names them out. Vampires, werewolves, serpents. Mostly serpent creatures. This is where humanoid serpents. This is where, well, the siren says, we don't have much information on the serpent creatures. Mostly vampires, they'll be numbered down to much bigger than us, but still they're lower down most of the time. Most of them I don't think are pure-blooded into the famous Dracula or whatever. This is where, well, Issei says, I see. Issei said, okay. I wonder, are you a descendant of any powerful sirens? I don't know if there was ever a siren queen or whatever. This is where the person will in their eyes and says, yes, I am. I'm mostly a siren. Well, the first siren queen's descendant, direct descendant. And I am, well, mostly her name was Yashumi Matsuka. Of course, the word, well, she was the first queen of all sirens. And I am a direct descendant. This person has long, dark, blue hair. Of course, her eyes are slick, kind of yellow, a little bit. This is where, well, her skin is basically that of a fish, but it's kind of a, what's it called, kind of like tealish blue color. Her scales for being her fish kind of legs or whatever is basically a kind of like a reddish kind of color, but yeah. This is where, well, she, or not scales, mostly her scales would be a tealish blue, yeah, down there. And of course her mostly skin is kind of palish, but yeah. This is where, well, her ears are kind of like that for fish, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei nodded, saying, well, then that'd be okay. So, do you know who's the direct descendant of Dracula or any descendants of Dracula? This is where, well, they shake their head, saying, we don't know about that. We only know that they were decreased after the three-faction war. This is where, well, Issei says, damn. And you said they would be mostly in Romania. Yes. Issei says, fine. I'll be going there. This is where they say, wait, what about us? Issei said, mobilize your people. If you're a direct descendant of what they call the Siren Queen, then you must be able to have much more governor power over the other sirens. Tell them what's the plan here. This is where, well, they say, then what's the plan? This is where Issei kind of talks to them and what is going to happen. In Kuo Town, but truly, it's probably not going to be the greatest idea to put them in Kuo Town when the three factions, well, mostly one of the three factions, literally are always in that territory. This is where, well, they nodded. So, of course, they're going to have to wait until Issei gets a better place for them to stay at. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei then disappears, while mostly jumping back on the boat, and Issei not knowing how to drive the boat. This is where the sirens sigh, and since they have much more strength and water, they literally just push them straight towards, like, shore. But yeah, this is where, well, Rainier and what's it called? Well, mostly Shiro doesn't know how to fly, but Rainier says, shouldn't I just fly? This is where Issei says, yeah, it would be a good idea. But yet, screw it, just let them just push it. I don't think they really want this chunk of metal anyway in the sea. This is where, well, Rainier nodded. This is where, well, they get back to the shore, and of course, where, well, Issei, he does kind of make the boat disappear by kind of just lighting it up and turning it into, well, like metal, melting down and literally just becoming a staff of metal. This is where, well, Issei, he then looks at the staff of metal. He really doesn't need it. And this is where he just launches it somewhere. Of course, the sirens, well, mostly one of the sirens descendant, direct descendant from the previous queen, kind of thanked Issei for not putting the chunk of metal into the sea and other things. And Issei just tosses it somewhere. Pretty much where the spear kind of landed was upon a town, well, village, or not village, a town of people just walking on their daily lives on the dark, right now getting pierced. This is where, well, multiple people got pierced by the spear of metal, metallic, whatever. Issei didn't care because Issei literally doesn't care about humanity. This is where, well, Issei says, good. Well, we should be going then. This is where, well, Issei said, oh, and before I go, this is where, well, Issei lands down in the water, of course, literally splashing in front of them. This is where, well, of course, where, well, the previous, what's it called, well, mostly the direct descendant of the, what's it called, serpents. Her name is, what's it called? This is where, well, Issei says, first, I gotta know your name. This is where she says, Sina, what's it called? Sina Amakosoka. This is where, well, Issei nodded. This is where, well, he says, well, there'd be somehow a better way to contact this. But for right now, Issei, right now, his teeth become sharp, and he kind of bites her in the neck. This is where she went, her eyes. This is where, well, energy kind of pulses through there. This is where, well, a symbol appears of a Wendigo. Issei says, that, if ever that marking lights up, it will mean that I'm trying to contact you. Just touch the marking and you can hear my voice. This is where she says, was it necessary for you to bite me? Well, I'm guessing you didn't hate it because you didn't push my head away. Because you're stronger than me. Issei says, but we're in the water. This is where she went her eyes and she just blushed a little bit with this tinted blue color. This is where, well, Issei says, whatever, I should be going then. Issei, he gets back into shore, of course, is where, well, his body is dripping all wet, and of course, is where, well, Rainer says, can you put on some clothes? This is where, well, Issei says, I would, but I have no clothes. Shiro says, literally, you can just shapeshift. Fuck off and do it. This is where, well, Issei says, fine. We go into Issei and the others getting to Romania, literally just teleporting there. One mostly teleporting to like an airplane and kind of just, well, hopping on top of the plane. Or, well, not mostly hopping on top of the plane. They mostly managed to get to Romania by kind of figuring out where to go. Of course, this is where Issei managed to draw a magic circle. And the night is still pretty young. So, of course, this is where it's still the same day when Issei met the serpents. Or mostly not serpents, mostly the sirens. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei and the others are mostly in Romania. Now, of course, they are going around what's it called, Romania, to find the vampires. This is where they get towards a ruined place. It looks like a ruined castle, but kind of has some like broken walls. The other walls are kind of gone, but yeah. Now, of course, they're walking, but this is where they feel like they're being watched. Shiro gets annoyed. He kind of starts growling like an annoying dog. Mostly a dog that's right now being annoyed. This is where, well, Rainer also feels like she's being watched somewhere. This is where, well, she's about to use her holy magic until Issei stops them from doing that. This is where Issei says, come out already, you bastards. You realize your presence aren't that easy, it's easy to detect. This is where, well, 3 people appear right in front of Issei. Right now sending, well, these, like, 3 swords straight towards Issei. And they're crimson red and they stab Issei. This is where they say, die, you human. This is where, well, Issei just does get impaled. And this is where, well, when they look at Issei, Issei's eyes are crimson shot red. This is where, well, they're slick also. This is where Issei says, I should die? How about you all die? This is where, well, Issei was already pissed. Until, well, they managed to almost get their heads just ripped off of their, well, mostly shoulders. If it wasn't for someone literally managing to transform blood around them, like a blood dome around them, and like pulling them away from Issei. This is where Issei rips out the sword from his freaking stomach, right now pissed and annoyed. This is where, well, someone appears, well, right now on top of one of the broken walls and says, why are you here and why are you in my territory? This is where a whitish haired female with red slick eyes, well, mostly red eyes that are with black slicks. This is where, well, she shows sharp teeth similar to that of a vampire and has bat wings, that of a vampire. This is where, well, she's wearing a long blue dress with, what's it called? Well, not blue dress that much, but yeah. This is where, well, she is right now kind of narrowing her eyes coldly at the trespassers that are right now in her territory. And saw that mostly the person in front, looked like that was about to kill her 3 underlings. This is where Issei says, I don't have damn time games with you, little girl. This is where, well, the girl gets check marks and says, who are you calling little? Do you not know who I am? I am the freaking vampire queen of this territory. That's where Issei said. And I don't give a damn in who you... Wait, you say vampire. This is where... Well, she says, yeah, why? Issei appear right in front of her, like an instant. Right now, the wounds that appear in his chest were already just gone. Mostly what left over from them is basically his shirt. that is right now mostly had these like huge slashes. This is where, well, Issei says, if you're the vampire queen, tell me. He says, not vampire queen. He says, tell me, are you the direct descendant of Dracula? What's it called, Dracula? This is where the person says, no. This is where, well, Issei says, then you're not important to me. This is where, well, the person growls at Issei. This is where, well, Issei said, that means you're only a half-blood, and I don't really care about you that much at all. This is where the person rushes at Issei. But this is where, well, Issei noticed a pulse of energy. This is where, well, for some reason he noticed this pulse of energy being underground of, well, mostly the fallen castle around here. This is where, well, he stops the attack from the queen. Well, she doesn't have white hair. Mostly she had like this darkish, blackish blue hair. And of course, Issei grabbed her hand, right now snaps it, and of course pushes her out of the way. This is where, well, Issei, after doing that, he kind of feels this pulse of anger, raging, fury, and just so much anger appearing from his power, but then dissipating. This is where Issei, he then kind of jumps off the wall and literally then tells the Shiro and what's it called, Rainer to just jump out of the way. This is where both of them wind their eyes when a like full power attack was actually rushing towards him, almost like a punch from Issei. This is where Shiro says, "You crazy bastard!" Shiro jumps out of the way right now, transforming into his, well, skinwalker. This is where Rainer jumps out of the way right now, thinking that Issei has gone mad. This is where, oh, she has her kind of what's called 8 wings. 6 fallen wings, mostly 6 fallen wings in total, and the, what's it called, 2 phoenix wings. But this is where, well, not 2 phoenix wings, she still has her 6 fallen wings, but they have a fiery tint of, like, color to it. But yeah, this is where, well, she just is shocked and confused. This is where when Issei like comes out of the crater, mostly breaks through the crater, or not breaks through the crater, mostly destroys something underneath, making, well, the crater become bigger. But this is where Issei landed next to a coffin. Yes, next to a brownish, blackish, cement coffin. But yeah. And of course, there's like 12 coffins all around here also. And Issei sees the one in the middle. This is where, well, Issei can see that mostly a link of a humanoid figure will be in here. And this is where, well, the queen of vampires says, "Get him! Stop him! Don't let him open that crate." This is where, well, open that, what's it called, coffin. This is where, well, Issei looks up and says, "Shiro, Rainer, stop them at once. They're nothing but pathetic weaklings from the original, well, Dracula descendant. Well, if I can find them. But I'm guessing this person that's in here could be someone threatening to, well, the now known as the Queen of Vampires here." This is where, well, the Queen of Vampires begs Issei to stop. Issei says, "No, I won't give a damn." Issei opens mostly the kind of like coffin, like the, what's it called, opening, and right now just throws the, what's it called, like, the top of it just somewhere. And this is where someone appears right now, sending, well, their hand through Issei. And this is where, well, mostly through Issei's heart, and saying, "Die, you pathetic weakling." This is where both Rainer and, well, mostly Shiro thought, yeah, he's not dead. This is where, well, someone rises up. This is where, well, she has, well, beautiful white silver hair. This is where, similar to red crimson, well, mostly crimson red eyes with black slick. This is where, well, that of a vampire. About having, what's it called? Well, about having 4 wings in total. And they're like similar to that of an actual bat. But they're crimson kind of red. Or not crimson red. They're kind of black and crimson red at the same time. This is where, well, she has a dark blue kind of like skirt a little bit. But yeah. This is where, well, or not skirt, mostly, yeah, skirt and, yeah, jacket, whatever. Of course, where, well, she says, "Kuh, I see, such pathetic vampires, you dare betray me. Now I will be the one to destroy you all, you half-breed bastards." This is where, well, the vampire queen says, "I told that idiot not to open it. Now a fucking bitch like you comes back to this world. Damn it." This is where, well, Rainer and Shiro are just looking at this. This is where Shiro is basically killing some of the vampires, half breeds, and literally just slaughtering them easily. Rainer easily just stabs him with some of the holy spears and literally just kills him off pretty easily. This is where the vampire queen, mostly the fake vampire queen is right now growling at the true vampire queen. This is where this is where the vampire queen, though, is right now near her coffin. Near her coffin. Says, well, whoever decides to send this pathetic boy down here seems to already be dead. This is where, we go into Issei. Yeah, Issei's body is not there. Instead, Issei is opening the other crate, the other coffins. This is where, 12 other coffins appear. Of course, 4 female, and of course, the other 6 are male. This is where, Issei says, quite interesting. Why aren't they waking up? This is where, the vampire that was near her own coffin widened her eyes and says, didn't I stab you? I swear to God I stabbed you through the heart, human. Issei turns around with this, malicious grin and says, call me human one more fucking time. I swear to God, why do people keep telling me I'm a fucking human? I'm no human. You people keep pissing me off. I swear to God. This is where, when he doesn't swear to God, mostly he says, I swear to the fucking 9 realms of fucking hell. This is where, Issei's voice keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. His fur started appearing. Bones started cracking around his body. Horns started spreading out from his head. Of course, his face started becoming bony, like see-through and other things. Mostly bones. This is where it then extended to that of a Wendigo face. This is where, Issei's was a claw, mostly hands become a claw, and Issei appears right in front of the vampire girl. This is where, right now, picking her up. This is where Issei says, tell me why I shouldn't just snap your fucking neck right now. Tell me why I shouldn't just eat you. This is where, the vampire queen, the true one, is right now scared of Issei. This is where, the power, the erupting power that he has. This is where, the fake vampire queen winded her eyes. This is where she said, that thing's a Wendigo. This is where, mostly when Rainer hears this, she kind of gets annoyed. Call him a thing again, and I'll stab you in an instant, you stupid bitch, Rainer said. This is where, the vampire says, huh? Like you could do anything. This is where a blood spear right now stabs upon her in her heart. Damn it. She falls down, and this is where, both, the true vampire queen and Issei turn around and sees a man getting out of his coffin. He right now has a blood spear right next to him. And this is where, Issei says, whoa, that's quite interesting. This is where all the remaining devils actually appear from their coffin also. He says, what an interesting bunch. This is where, the person bows down saying, I did not know you were a Wendigo. For my apologies, I will tell you my name and be grateful. Wendigo. This is where he says, better. You're getting better, I guess. So this is where, pretty much he says, what's it called? The female says, my name is Allison Dracula, and I will, serve you, help you in your adventures if you want to. This is where, he says, yeah, I need you to, be my group. I don't know how many true-blooded vampires still live on, but I'm willing to help. This is where, the vampire queen nodded and had a tinted blush, but yeah. This is where, she walked away and kind of understand where Issei is coming from, but yeah. Other than that, I'm thinking of ending it off here for, part 3. I know it might be shorter than the others because I'm just feeling really fucking tired, and yeah. Other than that, bye.